This was it, man. Our final tournament before the Global Championships has just concluded. We got our last look at a lot of our super good LAN trios on EU to see how they are actually going to be able to perform this coming weekend. Unfortunately for NA though, it was definitely not as stacked. We saw Oliver OG tweet out a picture of him and Muzz heading to France, and then Muzz even responded that him, Aminished, Oliver, Higgs, Clicks, Epic Whale, Curly, Rapid, Ager, Sphinx, Ritual, Cold Death, and Peterbot were all on the exact same flight going from Dallas to France. So all of those players that I just listed missed the Eval Cup today, which was pretty much all of our big NA LAN teams. At the same time though, we did finally get to see our first day of content from all of the pros at the LAN. So I want to talk about that a little bit as well. Real quick before this video starts though, please subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as we try our best to upload daily competitive content for you guys. If you guys want to support me even more, the best way to do so is by using code KDOG in the Fortnite item shop. Remember to follow me on my Twitch or come back here on the day of globals if you want to watch FNCS Global Championships with me. Without further ado though, we're gonna start this video off on EU with everybody that was able to qualify and who failed to qualify as well. So starting off with, in first place, we had Sky Scroll and Sand Guild on 296. Second place, our first LAN trio making their appearance of Pigstorm and Demus on 274. I have really high hopes for these guys going into this LAN event. Fully uncontested, proven grand finals risers. I think they can perform very well if they're able to get over the pressure of their first LAN event. Third place was Cry Falls, fourth place was X-Ray, fifth place was Cool, sixth place was Says, seventh place was Repairs, eighth place was Fant, ninth place was Rizix, and then rounding out the top 10 is another one of our LAN teams of Trulex, Tayson, and Chicho. And then right under them is going to be their main competition at Globals in 11th place of Ferdoxy, Pablo, and Chino. These guys literally finished on the exact same amount of points, both of them finishing with 264 points. You cannot script this. We did get to see the third ever off-spawn fight between Ferdoxy and Tayson's team as well. We had one of our NA West LAN players playing with some EU boys of Pump, Nebs, and Gross in 12th. Pingwalks and Malibuca able to make their third set lobby finals of the season. So very happy to see this team potentially getting in stride now going into LAN. 23rd place, continuing their streak of qualifying for every single finals together this season. It is Chat Mr. Savage and Rezon. Very happy that they're getting that extra practice right before LAN. And then Drop Hari and Cammy rounded out the top 33, being our last LAN team to make it in. So yes, this Eval Cup finals unfortunately was not very stacked. We had like 58th place of Vico, Vino, and Flixie not being able to qualify, 60th place of Seti, Yapko, and Panzer not being able to make it, 64th place of Venya, Pixie, and Marius also not being able to make it. Another side note on Seti, Yapko, and Panzer, they did not qualify for a single Divisional Cup finals together, and they have missed out on the final Eval Cup as well. They are one of the trios that is going to have the least amount of practice going into this globals, and it does definitely concern me, especially since I'm pretty sure they're contested as well. And then we also have 148th place, one of our potential LAN winning favorites of Swizzy, Queasy, and Murstache also failing to qualify for the finals. So yeah, this was a very interesting finals lobby, and moving on to how it actually went, the trio that finished in first place winning game number 3 today was Good Embrace, Strapped, and Skrill. They were able to get a 13 elimination win, and you'll notice pretty much all of our game winners is teams you probably wouldn't expect, because in second place we had Darkos' trio winning game number 4, the final game of the day, getting a 10 elimination win. Third place was Cade. They won the first game of the day, also getting a 10 elimination win. And then fourth place, the trio that won game number 2 with just a 3 elimination win, was Sirens trio. So yeah, not a single one of our LAN teams were able to get a win in one of the least stacked Eval Cups of the season. But moving on with the rest of the leaderboard, we still have like Sky Scroll and Sand Guild in 5th. Our first LAN team that was able to perform relatively well was Chat Mr. Savage and Rezon. Now, I do want to talk about these guys in depth for a little bit, because I feel like this performance today might have potentially shown us what we could be expecting from them over this weekend. Now, their match history was a 1 elimination 28th, 7 elimination 10th, 20 elimination 2nd, and a 1 elimination 31st. Now, do I think Mr. Savage, Chap, and Rezon are going to win LAN this weekend? No, most likely not. Are they even in the best spot in general right now, considering that as of things currently stand, they are technically contested by Coyote's trio, also most likely not as well. But I really do believe that if this trio is able to get fully uncon, if Coyote's team ends up just leaving, going and contesting Vino, or going and surprise conning somebody else, even though there has been some things to potentially not really back that up, as I'm pretty sure I saw something where Coyote has now started to practice landing at his drop spot where he is contesting Mr. Savage in scrims recently. So nobody really knows if Coyote is just trying to throw people off or if this is officially what they are going to be doing. But we have seen it from Mr. Savage, Chap, and Rezon the entire season. They are going to be a W key heavy team for Surge. I just, as of right now in this very moment, no matter what you think about like the Storm Surge at Globals, how high you think it's going to be, I think for the first couple of games, they will try to trade Surge, but we have literally seen them try to do that at the beginning of pretty much every single Sat Lobby Finals this whole season, and it just never really goes well for them. So I don't really know why I would believe that it is going to start going well for them now. So I feel like if they struggle their first two games, especially from them dying to Surge, we really could see them start to get the W key off. And if they're able to somehow get uncontested, they could 1000% try to key some of the teams around them for Surge. I think if they're conned off spawn, it's going to be a little bit difficult for them to do that though. When this team is able to W key consistently, they can look like one of the best trios in the entire lobby, but I will always be scared of their consistency, because whenever you run the risk of W keying, you also multiply your risk of dying as well. 7th place was iDrop Hari and Cammy. Their match history was a 7 elimination 7th, 8 elimination 9th, 2 elimination 14th, and a 5 elimination 7th. One of the trios that is currently set up in one of the best positions to succeed at this Globals. I think this is 100% probably a top 10 lock, and I would honestly be surprised if they don't finish top 10. 8th place is our reigning defending EU FNCS champions of Chino, Pablo, and Ferdoxy. They were also unfortunately not able to win any games today, but they did win 2-1 off spawn versus Tayson's trio. So I think if I did my math right, that now puts them dead even in off spawn fights in official tournaments this season, right before LAN starts at 7-7 apiece. I am still currently leaning more towards the side of Ferdoxy winning off spawn at LAN. I think they will. My prediction right now has been them winning 8-4 off spawn, and I think I'm going to stick to that as well. Even though they are dead even on the scoreboard, you can clearly see Ferdoxy has been improving off spawn over the past couple of weeks, the more times that they have fought now. And I am in no way, shape, or form saying that Tayson's team is like trash off spawn or anything like that, but I think that Ferdoxy's team is still better. 9th place was Velo, and then rounding out the top 10 was Moneymaker. So our other LAN teams that we had outside of the top 10 was 16th place of Pingwox and Malabuka. They only had one game inside of the top 10, getting a 10 elimination 3rd. And honestly, after that game, I started to get my hopes up for those guys again. But then after that, they got a 1 elimination 20th and a 1 elimination 13th. So I really just don't know what to think about this trio going into LAN. They've been one of the most underperforming teams as of late, and the talent alone should be able to carry them to a top 10 while having an uncontested drop spot, but they just haven't looked like those guys recently, so I really don't know what I want to think about them as of now. 18th place, we had Pigstorm and Demus, another one of our trios that I've been hyping up so much. I think they are really good. Their only good game was a 10 elimination 2nd. I also do still at the same time have consistency issues with these guys as well. They're so hit or miss when it comes down to their games. I feel like they either get like an 8+ elimination top 4, or they don't even finish top 10 in that game. And I don't know if that's just because they're still like more on that younger, inexperienced side, but if this team's able to fix their consistency issues, they will look like one of the best trios in all of EU. 20th place was Trulex, Tayson, and Chicho. They didn't load into game number 1, so if you're wondering why the score between Tayson versus Fred was only 2-1, it's because Tayson wasn't able to load into the first game, but the only game that they ended up winning off spawn, they went on to get a 7 elimination 7th. So definitely not bad. It shows some promise for them if they're able to make it off spawn in Globals. But then that was legit it for all of our LAN teams on EU today. Moving on to the final statistics now, the highest damage ratio was Chap with a 1.84. Absolutely putting on for the Mr. Savage fans. far and away one of the players I am most excited to see how they perform this weekend. The highest damage was No Remorse with 4,327, and then the most elims was also Chap with 16 total elims. Second most was Scroll, third place was Sky, fourth place was Skrill, fifth place was Remorse, sixth place was Hari, seventh was Pablo, eighth was Cringe, ninth was Eyedrop, and then rounding out the top 10 was Nebs. You can see the most assists was also Eyedrop, and then all of the other statistics are here as well if you care about those. I'm still not super used to starting off videos with EU, so instead of concluding the video now, let's actually move on to how NA went. Alright, let's move on to some of the fun stuff of the day. The first Globals content that we got. Shout out to Ozzy and Bucky for getting this. We got to see the ARC face reveal, and this is also what eventually led the EU fans to be in shambles after ARC absolutely destroyed both Marius and Shark. Let's first show Bucky meeting ARC.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm not even tripping. He looks like Indian Peterbot.
I'm not even.
Oh my God.
Like, you are Indian
Wait,
Peterbot.
hold on.
Flex the arms.
Wait, low.
This is literally.
Peter's not here till tomorrow.
Like, how are people?
Are you? Wait, you need someone to.
Now, I can't even lie to you guys, I low-key see the comparison that Bucky is talking about here. ARC is one of the craziest up-and-coming players right now. I think he is literally only like 15 or 16 years old. He is the main person that a lot of people want to see go from West to Central next season, because I have no doubt that he will 100% be able to find a crazy duo. And especially after this weekend, I think his stocks are going to be at an all-time high, because in this 1v1 clip that I show you guys right here, he ended up 5-1ing Marius and beating Shark at the exact same time, who are supposed to be known as like two of the best fighters on all of EU, and they were losing to probably the best player on NA West.
But Kyoto,
No, the thing is-
like he needs to, like King,
yeah.
he's gonna have to try and do one on every region,
Okay,
basically.
King and Arc is gonna be the best one.
Yeah, Arc vs
in
King
my
will be
opinion.
great. Yeah,
That's
Arc vs
gonna be the
King will
best
be
one.
fantastic.
Oh, dude, this kid's the truth. This kid
Oh
is the truth.
my
This kid is the
fucking God.
truth. What am I watching?
Dude, Arc is actually disgusting. What have we just done? Like, what just happened?
Yo, he just 5-1 him in 5 seconds.
Now, obviously, this is all just for some fun at the end of the day. This doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. I still obviously do believe that EU is a better region than NA, but it does really just go to show the talent that ARC has. For him being able to beat two of the best EU creative fighters pretty handedly, and I really do hope that he comes to Central next season. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is finally the first thing that could actually impact Globals. It is the OCE trio of Resigns, Alex, and Anon, talking about how they could potentially land on Poyo if they end up W-keying him.
They're going dance to straight up.
Because he's landing next to Grey Fox. He's going to Grey Fox.
Because that's the all or nothing drop, you know?
So if Poyo starts like keying you guys early, you're just gonna start dropping demons.
I really do think.
Damn.
And then if we win off spawn, we just do better.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I can see logic. That's why people are asking. People are like, okay.
If he chills,
Yeah.
you have a fun tournament.
Okay. Yeah.
Alright, so if you're a little bit confused on how this would even work, basically we all see Adrius, Acorn, and Poyo right here, fully unconned at Demons to Breeze, and then Resigns, Alex, and Anon have this fully uncontested split down here. And since this is a pretty massive split, I wouldn't be surprised if each one of these players were landing at a different portion of it. And that is why I think a lot of us could also probably see a world where Adrius and Acorn and Poyo end up just keying them. I don't know if it's going to be every single game. There's also so many other trios that could potentially key them as well, like Focus makes it an Upple, FKS's trio, who is, spoiler alert, one of my surprise small region teams that I think could do super good at this LAN. Do I believe what Resigns is saying here about him potentially landing on Adrius, Acorn, and Poyo? I mean, maybe, but at the exact same time, I don't think any of us really would even expect Alex's trio to be able to win like a single game versus Poyo off spawn here. Poyo's trio was literally making Peterbot look like one of the worst off spawn fighting teams in the entire game just last season from this very drop spot, and so Alex, with no experience landing there, I don't think would have been able to do much more. But that was pretty much our main Globals content from today. Let's actually move on to how the NA tournament went now. Now on NA, I'm not gonna lie, we're just gonna speed run through this real quick, and I don't think a lot of you guys should be very mad about that. We didn't have a single LAN trio play in this entire Eval Cup. Our top 10 was Noisy in first, Booga in second with Craze and Void, Threats in third, Noxy in fourth, Blake in fifth, Zackles in sixth, H-Cube in seventh, Velo in eighth, G-Money, Josh, and Rise in ninth, and then 40 rounded out the top 10. So pretty much our main big names that played in this was Booga, Threats, Blake, and G-Money's trio. We did have like the EU player of Scroll qualify in 13th place, but now let's go over everybody that was able to win a game. So in first place, we did have Void, Booga, and Craze. They were able to win the first game of the day, getting a 6 elimination win, and then their match history in their other games was a 13 elimination second, 9 elimination third, and then a 0 elimination 30th. This was probably like far and away the best trio in this entire lobby. So getting a win was 100% probably expected out of them, but the trio in second place, you could definitely make an argument for being the best team in this lobby. It was G-Money, Josh, and Rise. I'm honestly kind of surprised they only won one game, which was their second game, where they got a 9 elimination win also. The third trio to get a win was Aoxy, Jojo Fishy, and Pikes, and they won game 3 with an 11 elimination win. And then the trio that was able to win the final game of the day was the Mexican goats of Noisy, Creon, and Tony, and they got a 10 elimination win. The rest of the top 10 was 5th place of Anax, Z-Link, and Manny, 6th place of Roxanne, 7th place of Noxy, 8th place of Raygun, 9th place of Blake, and then rounding out the top 10 was Zach. Here are the final statistics if you guys are curious. The highest damage ratio was Curve with a 2.15, most damage to players was Tony with 3,842, and then the most elims was Crazed with 16 total elims. Here's all the other stats if you guys care about it. Other than that though, remember, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as we try our best to upload daily competitive content for you guys. If you guys want to support me even more, the best way to do so is by using code KDOG at the Fortnite item shop. Remember to follow me on my Twitch or come back here on the day of globals if you guys want to watch the LAN event with me. YouTube says enjoy one of these 2 videos up on the screen right now, so go check them out if you guys haven't already. Thank God for another day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.